Hello, welcome back to I Can Do This. Today we're going to continue our road deck series with Nouvelle, aka the burger deck. So I was planning to have an update about this deck because after TFTV, after Blazing Dominion, actually there are quite some good support for this deck as well. So after going through this deck list, I also bring this deck to ranking as well, and later I will tell you how was the performance. Okay, so obviously one of the biggest upgrade for this deck, for any richer deck to be honest, is the add-on from Harmonia, because not only this give the additional hand trap for disruption, but also give good use of the extra deck, because this deck don't really need extra deck, which have a lot of slot for Harmonia, and it doesn't really special summon from extra deck, so the restriction to Nouvelle is not really a limitation. And the most important part, it can stand Terra to the graveyard, which will be one of the key searcher for helping the Nouvelle. So basically, Harmonia is equals to hand trap disruption, also equals to a searcher for this deck. So that's one of the biggest upgrade here for Nouvelle. While other than that, there's also TFTV, so it has been long time and actually anyone is using that, but this is a good additional upgrade for Nouvelle is because this is target. So basically, Nouvelle have many cards required to target. Then only it can trigger its effect for tribute and special summon. So this card basically give multiple purpose for this deck. First, it create the target condition it require for Nouvelle to special summon and tribute, and also it help them to clear the back row board, because for Nouvelle monster, most of it are more focused on main monster. So basically it tribute main monster, but it doesn't really have good cards that clear back row except for level 2. So TFTV and Harmonia basically give a good upgrade here for the deck, and you can see that the deck list here is almost the same except that it add for Harmonia, it add for TFTV, and the extra deck basically is more like a TFTV components, the 3 cards, as well as the synchro monster that used by Harmonia. And you might notice there's also don't have Dynamoto, because before this I was thinking, after testing Dynamoto maybe can try without it, because not much time I was using it, so I prefer to use other extra deck cards, like they can help me draw cards or destroy cards when I use Nade 7. Because to be honest, I think Nade 7 is still a very good card, as in it helped me get more resource, also helped me for board breaking. So this is the idea and concept I have first place to try with this deck list with the environment. So let's see how after ranking. Okay, so after the ranking, I can conclude that this deck list still unable to compete with the current environment. And one of the most crucial factors is the usage of Nade 7. Because current meta, at least AE in Malaysia, there are a lot of branded deck. Even actually many of them have a mixture of brandeds. So when using Nade 7s, actually it helping my opponents to gain their resources. Even if let's say they are not using branded, but there are many of them are using TFTV. So which means they for sure have Albion, which when I activate Nade 7, basically I helping my opponent to get their TFTV, which later can be used for interruption. So this is one of the factors with this environment. And other than that, with the rise of Kashira, and when this is a pendulum deck, basically Kashira can just block my pendulum zone, and it will be very hard for me to search for my key card. And especially Chef de Nouvelles is one of the most important card for this entire deck. And Kashira have a Macrocosmos kind of boss monster there, which straight away shut down my Nade 7, because I require to send monster to graveyard, which I can't really activate it. So basically this have shut down one of the key cards that can give me resources as well as board breaking. So the lesson learned here is that I won't straight away say Nouvelle still can't really compete in this environment. It's just that might be require further try and error, especially removing the Dominica and Nade servant system from this deck, because at least for this environment, this is not really practical. Is even if I use it, it helping my opponent more than helping myself. So it's not really some practical card that I will try to replace it with some cards that either increase consistency or that will include more hand trap for getting more advantage over going second. So yep, that's all for today Road Deck series. Please stay tuned and follow for more Road Deck series. And that's all for today. Thank you, and I can do this. Signing off.